How old were you when 9/11 happened?
I was 41 years old.
Where were you when you heard about the plane crashes on September 11th?
Well, back then I was living in LA, and I would wake up to Mark and Brian as a radio station. That would be my alarm. And they were on the air, they said, "Hey, a plane has crashed into the Twin Towers." And I'd gone to see the Twin Towers a year before that in New York City. And I went, "What?" And I went and looked at that, turned on the TV, and the second plane was just crashing into the towers. And that was in the morning. I called our work. Nobody was going into downtown LA because all the police had said no one's coming into LA until they knew what was going on. And that's where I was.
How did you feel about it?
I was angry. If I wasn't so old, I was ready to go and get into the armed forces because I was upset of that. And I was upset at our country for not knowing what was going on.
Do you believe that the world changed rapidly as the result of 9/11, or could you see a change?
I could definitely see a change. We knew now that our intelligence agencies had to get together and be on the same page so that we would stop this never happen again. This is the first time you understand that terrorism was on the United States continent. And so that changed. I remember this too. People became more courteous. I did sales and I was driving around a lot. All of a sudden on the freeway, people didn't cut you off. They'd say, I'm sorry, go ahead. It was a lot. People started becoming a little bit nicer during that time.
How old were you when 9/11 happened?
I was 13 years old.
Where were you when you heard about the plane crashes on September 11th?
I was crossing the bridge from Big River into town, and we spent the day in Mr. Alt's room with Mr. Sale watching the towers go down.
How did you feel?
I was scared, sad, and unsure of what the world was going to be.
Do you believe that the world changed rapidly as a result of 9/11, or did you see the change?
I definitely seen the change, a lot more fear in America, and we became more prideful of our country.
How old were you when 9/11 happened?
I was 16 years old.
Okay. Where were you when you heard about the plane crashes on September 11th?
I was on my way driving to school because I was a senior in high school.
Ancient. Okay. How did you feel about it?
Well, somebody called me when I was driving to school and told me what was going on, and then I almost needed to pull over because it was really shocking. Yeah. And then when I got to school, every class that we had, they put it on the TV, and we watched it all day, and it was really scary because we didn't know if we were at war or if we'd be bombed, if it was bombing or what was even going on. So it was really scary.
Yeah. Do you believe that the world changed rapidly as a result of 9/11, or could you see a change?
Definitely, because before we never had those security scanners at all. People could go to let people go on planes like they have in movies, So you could actually go with somebody without having a ticket. You don't have to go through security, and you could go to the gate and you could let people go on planes. So that's changed. Yeah, they didn't do pat downs back then. So in America, though, after it happened, it was really cool because right away, everybody, practically everybody had flags out in front of their house, and everybody was really supportive of everybody else, and we kind of came together as a country. So that was cool to see. Yeah,
that's it.
How old were you when you were 9/11 happened?
I was 32 years old.
Where were you when you heard about the crashes?
I was at home getting ready for work to go to the high school.
How did you feel?
I was terrified. I had a friend who was only a block away when it happened. She did survive.
Do you believe the world changed rapidly as a result of 9/11, or could you see a change?
Extremely rapid, especially if you were flying, because they started doing all the security checks.
Hey Cole, it's Cameron here. I'm here with Miss Forrest, the band teacher for our symphonic band and our 6th grade band. We're going to ask her a couple questions about 9/11. How old were you when 9/11 happened?
I was a freshman in high school, so I was 14.
Where were you when you heard about the plane crashes?
Okay, so I grew up in Massachusetts, so I was about 4 hours away from actual New York City. I was going in between history class and Spanish class, and I remember walking through the halls of my high school, and people were saying that there were planes and there were bombs and buildings, and it was just kind of saying things in the hall. We get to the Spanish class. The Spanish teacher goes and turns on the radio, and we actually heard the second plane hit in Spanish class. So that was intense.
How did you feel?
I was scared, especially since the fact that it was so close. Like I had visited New York, I had been there. It's 4 hours away, and just the fact that you could hear the screams and the shouts and the oh my gosh, and the second building is falling, and just all of that. It was scary. You kind of felt like, what do we do as high school students in the middle of Massachusetts? But it was very scary.
Do you believe that the world changed rapidly as a result of 9/11, or could you see a change?
I did see a change, and at the fact I know I was in a privileged situation. I came from a mostly white town, and the people there in my community seemed to be banding together and just feeling like, okay, let's come together. I know, unfortunately, that was not the case everywhere, because there was a lot of hate from anybody of Middle Eastern background. And looking back at it now as an adult, I definitely can see that. Green Day's American Idiot album came out 3 years after that, and that was a huge impact on the way the world shifted and looked. And so, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for answering our questions.
You're
We
welcome.
hope that the students are more informed about 9/11 from someone that was so close to it. And we will see you
I'm
whenever
here.
we have to ask you a question again.
Cool. I'm
Okay.
here. Thank
Back
you.
to the studio.
How old were you when 9/11 happened?
I was 31.
Where were you when you heard about the plane crashes on September 11th?
I was in my classroom getting ready for school.
How did you feel?
Sad?
Do you believe that the world changed rapidly as a result of 9/11?
Yes, it did. It changed dramatically on how people go through airports, how they're scanned, how just everything changed.
Today I am here with Miss Alt. And how old were you when 9/11 happened?
I was 16 when 9/11 happened.
Where were you when you heard the plane crash on September 11th?
I was already at school. It was about 7:30 in the morning. And another student came and told the teacher, hey, did you hear that a plane crashed into the World Trade Centers? And we all kind of flipped out a little bit and went and turned the TV on and watched that for the entire period. And most of the day, too.
How did you feel?
It was weird because I remember like terrorist attacks earlier in my childhood, like Oklahoma City bombing and things like that. And we didn't really even know it was a terrorist attack, but it was kind of weird because everybody wanted to see what was happening the whole day.
Do you believe that the world changed rapidly as a result of 9/11, or could you see a change?
I could definitely see a change in that I think on 9/11, everybody was like super patriotic because like somebody attacked the United States, and these were people outside of our country. We didn't really know what happened, so we all like banded together. But then like how it changed, when you go to the airport, you used to be able to walk right up to the gate, drop people off, say goodbye, hug each other, all of that. That stopped. Obviously, if you've been to the airport, you have to go through security. You have to take your shoes off. It's just more secure. Even in places, government buildings, you have to go through security now. You used to be able to just walk up and take care of business.
How old were you when the 9/11 happened?
I was 18.
Where were you when you heard about the plane crashes on September 11th?
I was actually at home getting ready for work when my aunt hollered at me to come into the living room. And that's when she showed me the first planes crashed into the First Trade Center building.
How did you feel?
At first, we were a little confused of what was going on until the second plane hit, and then it hit us. I think we were being attacked. And then about half hour later, they confirmed we were attacked by terrorists.
Do you believe that the world changed rapidly as a result of 9/11, or could you see a change?
A lot of things changed. In fact, the way we do security now at the airports and stuff like that has changed dramatically. And then the whole world stood still for about a week. So a lot of changes started coming on because of 9/11.
We're here with
Miss Shantz.
Okay, Miss Shantz. How old were you when 9/11 happened?
I was 5 years old.
Okay. Where were you when you heard about the plane crashes on September 11th?
We were living in Alaska and we were playing outside my parents' house. My sister ran into the house, came outside, told my mom buildings were on fire, and she thought it was a cartoon. Then we all went inside and saw it was breaking news.
How did you feel about it?
How did I feel?
Yes, how did you feel?
I was a little confused as to what was happening. I didn't understand what was going on. You could see, like, in my parents' face, they were scared and everything. My parents talked about going to war and how my dad would be gone a lot because he was a soldier.
Do you believe that the world changed rapidly as a result of 9/11, or could you see a change?
Yeah, I think the world changed. I know we noticed that like a lot of more American flags were out, a lot more patriotism was happening. When we left the base to get back onto the base, we had to get out of the car to have it searched instead of just having the MPs check our IDs. And that was kind of scary to see all the guns and everything to secure a good security system. And
have a
that's
good
it.
day. Bye.